as we're heading towards the postseason, your comments, everything, every time we have you on here, that much more exciting as Red October is approaching.
It really is, and the Astros playing good baseball now as they head down the stretch here. It's pressure time, and if last year's World Series is any indication, this should be a time when the Astros really make some hay.
Very much so. Now, this last weekend, going into this series with the A's, it was the first time in 2 months the Astros had their big four back. Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Altuve, as well as George Springer. How much of a difference did having them back make in this series?
Well, you know, it made a huge difference. The Astros during that stretch, especially with Altuve out, you know, the Astros had about an 8-13 stretch there when Altuve was out with the knee problem. He's the hub of the wheel. He's only the defending MVP, so yeah, you know, you miss that guy, you're going to miss it a little bit. You get those four guys together during the stretch from June 25th to when they all got back together earlier this week. The Astros were only 6 games over 500. You say now a lot of teams would be happy with 6 games over 500. Yes. You consider though the Astros, when they had those guys all together early in the year, they were about 24 games over 500. They play much better when they have that meet. And you know, when they got back together, the Astros this week scored some runs. Offensively, you saw some things happen. But one thing I thought was really fun to watch was the evolution of Alex Bregman as a leader and an offensive leader for a team. When those guys were out of the lineup, he had to kind of shoulder things, and he did a great job. And of course, he unearthed the stare in the dugout, which has become this viral sensation. Every time he hit a home run or one of the Astros hits a home run, they give the stare to the camera, and now it's become this thing I love watching on social media, how everybody's doing it now.
Lots of momentum with them going into this back part of the season, heading into the postseason. Now they have a stretch that's a little different. They have the Angels, they have the Twins, Tigers, and the Boston Red Sox. Not as difficult a stretch as this past week, but how crucial are these next couple of series? You
know, it's kind of interesting to your point. There's actually 2 components to this schedule moving forward. When you talk about 3 of the next 4 against teams with losing records, the Tigers, the Twins, the Angels, the Astros going into those series, those will be series where, of course, they can make that major push. But then you look ahead to next weekend, the other part of the schedule, again to your point, the Boston Red Sox in Boston. The Astros have 3 games. The Red Sox want revenge because of last year's. This will have a playoff feel to it because there is some positioning going on. The Red Sox have been struggling a little bit. The Yankees have been coming on. So all of a sudden the Yankees are about 6 games back. So I'll tell you, Jill, to your point, this is going to be a stretch of the season that's going to be very indicative for the Astros of where they're going to finish up in the playoffs or where they're going to start in the playoffs. But the other thing is the team chasing them, the A's, who they did play this week. The A's schedule gets a little tight. They play a 3-game series against the Mariners this weekend that's going to be vital. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch how this all plays out.
How much distance can they gain on the A's with these next couple of series?
Well, you know, and coming out of this home series, very important. Going into the weekend, the Mariners and A's, one of those 2 teams is going to kind of determine where they're going to be in the wild card chase, presuming they're still chasing the Astros. And that's going to be the real great part of this for the Astros. If the Astros can take care of their business, then everybody else feasts on themselves, and they feast against other people. And there's a lot of those kind of things happening. And I think that's the big key now. Astros just have to win and let everybody else beat themselves up down the stretch.
Easier said than done. Absolutely. Astros just have to win, take care of business.
Just win. Just win. It's so easy, isn't it?
It is. It is. Richard, thank you so much.
No, my pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
Ancira Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram trucks, #1 in San Antonio. Huge selection and always unbeatable prices. You're watching Sports Tonight, San Antonio's only nightly 30-minute sportscast with exclusive sports coverage you won't find anywhere else.